Are you sleepy? You want some? You want some?
No. I got. Oh, you want some white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we don't have any.
Oh,
of that.
okay.
Fucking
I wasn't gonna do it
addict.
anyway.
Fucking
Just saying.
Did we record that so we could expose them? Unique New York.
What is Unique New York?
Unique New York.
I know. What is that about? Is that something you say before you?
Yeah. The us actors and theater majors and shit.
I'm sorry.
That's it's a diction thing, an articulation. Unique New York.
Got it.
Try it.
Unique New York.
Okay.
Very enunciated.
Unique New York.
Yeah.
That's the one.
It's hard with a high elite accent though to say it properly.
You're saying that's what I have?
Yeah.
Unique New York.
I thought I heard Nueva York, but anyway.
Unique. You that you're out of the Hialeah a little bit, even though you're still kind of affiliated. Do I have an accent for your French?
Yes, I used to call my wife. I used to call my wife back in the day when we were dating.
Yeah,
and I used to make my buddies in Canada listen to her accent, her Miami accent.
One Miami accent, exactly.
Latin accent.
Those two separate things. Latin and Miami, two separate,
you're
two
100%
separate, two separate things, Brett.
Correct. Yeah.
Are we ready to go?
Ready?
Okay. Hey, don't throw me off.
We've been recording.
Oh, we have? Okay. Well, count me down, dude. Count me down. Here you go.
2, 1, action.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of... Wait. Now you fucking
Are we like inside the actor's studio right now?
Wait,
you know he died the other day.
I know, and I'm channeling him.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second, Brett.
Littman,
What?
right? Was his name or something like that? Sorry to cut you off.
Can we start it? Can we start again? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Ramil podcast. We're here live from the Grassy Knoll Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great guest this evening. A 5-time Hall of Famer. This man, he's a Hurricane, a Falcon. He's a Jaguar. Aaron Hernandez lover. This man does not stop. Radio, commercials, entrepreneur, podcast. I mean, he's everywhere. If you don't know who I'm talking about, switch over the cameras, show his face for one quick second because he likes to talk a lot. Switch it back to me. Brett Romberg is in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Brett, thank you for being here, buddy.
Man, my pleasure.
Before we chat it up, Brett, I'd like to plug the sponsors if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you've been injured in a car accident, slip or fall,
No.
you know who to call.
Don't tell me 411 pain.
Nope. You haven't seen the show, Brett. Nope. If you've been involved in a car accident,
You gotta sing it, or is it?
No, that's it. I just say it straight
say
like that.
it.
Yeah. If you've been involved in a car accident, slip or fall, you know who to call. The guest usually does the other part, Brett.
Yeah, but I don't know who you're talking about. Is it a Hialeah thing, or a Miami Lakes thing?
The Founder's Law.
I don't know that one.
You don't know the Founder's Law?
Is there a guy on it?
There's a guy on it.
Is it the Latin dude with the bald head that you see in every bus stop?
Nope.
What's his name?
I don't know. But that's
That's
who
down there.
sponsors.
That's my neck of the
That's
woods.
not who sponsors this.
Alex.
No,
Yeah.
we're not plugging him.
okay.
No. We gotta bleep that out. The Founder's Law, Brett.
Okay.
And if your roof is leaky, if you got any leaky things, you could call All Pro Claim Adjusters. The good boys over at All Pro. You could call them up. They do roof damage, storms, fire, wind.
Yeah.
All Pro Claim Adjusters helping you recover full for your loss. 305-707-707-8451. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're not a sponsor, are they?
No, they're not a sponsor.
Yeah, you gotta take that off the table.
I'll do this. I'll drink like this.
Damn, Kawhi
So,
Leonard, that bad boy right there. That ain't Gatorade. I don't drink Gatorade.
Brett Romberg on the show. We'll start right now. We'll be right back chatting it up with
We're already
the
going to commercial?
Yeah. With the X-Falcon right here, live on the Ramil podcast. Roll the intro! Brett Romberg.
What's up, man?
Thank you for being here, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, Cabo. You just got back from Cabo. There's a little bit of a cough on you. I felt you've been a little under the weather, I think, no?
You know this?
Just in the conversation we had before,
Yes.
you went twice, and now I'm a little.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. No, it's because I talk in the morning for a long time and then I drink.
Has nothing to do with your travels.
No,
Okay,
no.
Okay,
We're good.
good.
You're okay.
Good.
I'm not one of the cases. You're
Okay,
good.
no, because there's two in Florida and they haven't released who it is.
West Coast. We're okay.
Okay, great. Brett, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so excited that you're here, dude.
No, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
There's so much to cover. There's so much to cover.
Let's do it.
Have you watched the show before? Do you even know who I am?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know very well who you are. You're the
Okay.
Cuban doctor.
I am the Cuban doctor.
Hey, coconut man. I know. I've seen it before.
That's
bro.
right. When we first met, that's kind of what you told me. You
Yeah,
said
I
you're-
kind of did the whole skit. I recited it.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, and then I tackled you, so we kind of exchanged.
Yeah, we did. We did our thing.
Brett, thank you for being here, dude. One of the things we share, which I want to get into, I want to talk about, is our passion for music.
Yeah, man.
Now, everybody knows you as a football player, a star, a center,
Okay.
but you ain't. You're a star.
Maybe. Okay.
And you can't even walk the halls of UM without them to tell you.
That's true.
Is that true, really?
That's true, yeah.
How was that experience? Before we get
At
into
Miami,
the
at the
rockstar,
University of Miami?
how was your experience at the University of Miami?
I'd give it all back to do it again.
I thought you were
That's
going to
how
stop
good it
right there. I give that shit all back.
I literally, and you ask a lot of us, it's we would honestly give all that money back that you've made in the NFL and whatever marketing money you've made to do it all over again. Your 4 years, your 3 years, your 5 years, however many years you were there.
Why didn't you just keep flunking?
Well, some did.
Not by choice. Not by choice.
Yeah, not by choice.
Okay.
Some really did. Some weren't exactly the most studious.
Is that one of those things where you're like you constantly like remind yourself this shit is gonna end? Like
at the collegiate level, or are you talking about at the pro level?
No. I'm just like that college era.
You don't think about it at the time.
You weren't thinking about it.
No, it's one of those things where, number one, when I first started playing ball, I had no idea of getting a scholarship because in Canada we don't have athletic scholarships.
Yeah, Canadians
It's
don't really do
academic.
sports. Yeah,
Yeah, we do hockey, and that's about it.
that's about it.
That's about it.
You got a nice set of teeth for a Canadian.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
No
that.
problem,
All
dude.
natural too. No braces.
Stop
never.
it.
Not
Can
one
I touch
cavity
'em?
ever.
Can I touch them?
Yeah. You
Well, that was a nice bite you got on there. How much pussy did you crush?
quite a bit for a fat dude. I was pretty repulsive. Not that I'm like David Beckham right now, but I was pretty long haired. Who am I winking at?
I don't know. Right here, this is your
no,
camera.
on the way in, I was kind of thinking of
Yeah.
like, do I do like a David Beckham face because I was nervous about the Papariana side
With the
profile.
camera?
Yeah, camera ads. Quite
This
a
is
bit.
the one that gets everything.
Yeah, but it's like a side deal, and it's this.
No. This one's getting kind of almost profile,
Oh, okay.
almost head on.
Because I got like a cinder block thing. Like
No, dude, you're chiseled, dude.
I got a melon on me.
You're being a little hard on yourself. You're a pretty chiseled fucking dude. Have you ever tried to let the whole beard go?
I did. I had something kind of similar to what you had, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That was during my Sons of Anarchy days.
Oh,
And
those
then
are-
I just left.
Yeah,
let it
you
go.
got kind of that like biker swag.
White guy.
Also, kind of like,
Angry.
yeah. I don't know how to
Aggressive?
like. Yeah, I could overthrow the whole world vibe.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
before I came over here, I had to like a toss-up thing to do. I didn't know if I was going to make sure I gave it to Mama before I came over here or after when I got home. And she I left it up to her.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was willing to stay awake, to be honest with you.
They never do.
So I had to,
Quick 1-2.
Avenger style, bro.
Do you
Thor's
ever,
hammer.
You ever put a helmet on her and just?
No, because I had a buddy that did that, and it kind of he married his chick, and it was just like in hockey equipment. It was just weird. Like
What?
that's how we roll back home.
You Canadians are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
he actually left the bar, went in the back seat of her car, and made her put because she was a hockey player. He
Of course she was.
he made her put her hockey equipment on, and got after it. So
He's
I
your
can't-
friend
I
in
can't-
Canada,
Yeah, and they're married now. They got kids and everything.
and they all play hockey.
Yeah, they all do.
That's super weird.
It is
Super fucking weird.
It
You
is.
never played hockey. Well, growing up, how old were you when you came to the States?
18. So
Did you do the hockey?
no, not here. No, I did hockey when I was 12, but I was a baseball player. I played baseball.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Are you sure you're Canadian?
Team Canada, scouted by Major League Baseball, the whole thing. I didn't even want to play football.
What?
Didn't want nothing to do with football.
How did this happen?
Too physical. Didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because I mean, no, not saying anything about any other football players, but you're pretty intellectually sophisticated.
Yeah. I wanted to get an education. That's probably the only reason why I wanted to.
What
do
a
it.
loser!
I know. I want that choice.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah. So I basically became like the number one high school recruit in Canada, and I just had anywhere I wanted to go, I got a pick.
And there's what, like 12 people that did that?
It's close. Pretty
just
close.
you and
it was a small ranking system. It was a small ranking system.
cover didn't make it in the hockey team. Brett and 10,
whoever
10,
did
12
play,
year old.
whoever did hockey, yeah, that was it. That was it. I was the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, by default.
Yeah.
And I literally looked on a map and found the furthest possible place for my hometown, and I said that's where I'm going to go. Never even heard of Miami before. Never heard of the University of Miami.
Stop, dude.
I swear to God.
At 18, you never heard about Miami?
No.
Will Smith getting jiggy with it?
No.
Bad Boys?
Well, that's when I first got here. Was when Bienvenido a Miami, and I used to be like, oh yeah, that's my jam. You know what I mean? I used to be like, yeah, that's it.
So all right.
And I used to have to translate Trick Daddy for all of my buddies back home in Canada, because that's when www.thug.com came out. You know what I mean? I was well versed.
The album cover was a website, right? It was
exactly, with Trix Melon on it. Yeah, that was it.
Wait, so all right, so you're 18, you leave Canada.
Yeah, man.
Never left Canada before.
No.
And you came to fucking Miami?
Yeah, a little bit of a culture shock.
So you came by yourself? You didn't come with
Solo
anybody?
mission. Yeah, man. My mom didn't even believe that I got a scholarship.
But it's crazy, eh? What?
Well, then 2 nights before I left.
What is Brett doing? What's your dad's name?
Same thing.
Same thing. Same thing. Come here. They're not very original with the names of it.
That's a good accent.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, what is Brett doing, eh? He's got a little bit mad.
Oh, where are you going? You ain't going down there. There's nothing over there for you. That's what it sounds like. That's my mom.
Yeah.
You didn't get no scholarship, did you? I said, yeah, Mom, the best player in Canada. No, you ain't. I said, yeah, I'm out of here in 2 days. Fuck off. You're not going anywhere. That's basically how it went down.
No.
Yeah, man.
And then how does she feel now?
She felt like, well, it's a typical thing where, your mom is you think she's just the meanest person in the world growing up because she's working, struggling, stressed out every day. Yeah. Coming home to, me and my brother robbing her purse, ultimately taking a couple bucks out of her bag every time she gets home.
You're
so we were assholes. Yeah, we were bad. So it's probably good to get away. It was actually, to be honest with you, it was like something that I made a point that I didn't want to stay in my hometown.
The younger brother? Or
I'm the older.
You're the oldest one. So you're the example. That's what you're showing your little brothers?
Yeah, he learned.
Brett.
Yeah.
How's your dad? You're gonna go play football down there.
My old man was very supportive. Like sporting wise, yeah, he used to drive me to all my baseball games. He used to go to all the tournaments. My old man was
drop your ass off and drive back.
No, he would hang out, man. And we used to he had a giant conversion van, almost pedophile style.
Yeah, it sounds a little weird. Yeah.
One of them even had a sink in the back of that bad boy to go ahead and wash your deal off.
Wait.
It had water. It's unbelievable. I don't even know how the hell thing had water.
Why did your dad have a sink in his?
It's weird, isn't it? Now that I think about it, it's like, where's the water tank?
Should you been sharing this at all?
That's creepy.
What do you mean that no one questioned this?
Never.
Canada's so passive, dude.
We are. Until you've seen that.
Of course
you saw the Netflix thing with the cats thing?
Was that? Yeah.
Canada,
you don't fuck with cats.
Yeah, apparently not.
You guys know hockey and them cats.
That's it. In America, we used to scrap American kids quite a bit back.
You didn't like Americans.
Well, I'm right bordered with Detroit, so our drinking age is 19. Theirs is 21. They used to come over. In my hometown, it's known for strippers, casino, and bars. That's all we do.
It's a family town.
Yeah, exactly. It's very.
What town is that?
Windsor, Ontario.
Shout out to Windsor.
Shout out to Wind City. Yeah, man.
Is that close to Drake's Palace?
Drake's about 3 hours north.
Fuck Drake, huh?
Bro.
What do you think about him representing Canada?
I was ashamed for a while.
Really?
But he's trying to claim, streets where
he's not from. Because you guys have some streets that are not the.
Yeah, they're not the best. But I'll put it to you this way: everybody back home in Canada is terrified of black people. I'm talking terrified. But our black people back home are not the same brothers that are walking the streets down here in Liberty City and Carroll City area. It ain't happening.
Right.
I would walk down the street in Canada with a very racist T-shirt on and feel okay about myself. Down here,
you don't do that.
Oh my, bro! I wouldn't even drive down there.
No,
man, I ain't playing. No,
it's not. Just to clear this up. It's not that you would do that in Canada.
Correct.
It's just hypothetically.
Very, very.
Brett's not racist.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah. So how was that shock? Even that.
It was.
Because
we have different.
People say Miami, and this is, I guess, you think the beach, you think this, but we got some hot spots down here.
No, we do, man. We really do. We that's the one thing that I love about the city is the fact that every time you see it nationally, it's portrayed as South Beach, regardless,
Fake
no matter what you're doing.
Ass, parties.
Yeah, I'm to be honest with you, I'm kind of tired of that. I'm being dead serious.
100%.
I'm tired of.
You're a father now, Brett.
That's the thing. 3 girls.
If you didn't
Three
get
girls.
CTE for football,
Oh, God.
from football,
I'm
huh?
done. I got the hell beat out of me with the karma stick, man. Like the hell beat
bro.
out of me.
All those
So,
UM years, bro.
it really is not awesome. I'm not looking for. And what's worse about it is when I first came down here, it was like normal for the patas sucias, the American Fort Lauderdale girls.
For the Canadians, yeah, pata sucia is it's
Translated
a
means-
dirty feet, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you guys meaning the
Yeah, I don't know
Cubans.
what. Yeah,
That's what you call the white girls. And don't get me
Patas
started
sucias?
on patas sucias because you think the Americanas are dirty.
don't put that in my mouth.
I'll,
Don't do that.
unless you ask nicely.
I'm married to an Americana.
No, you're not.
100%.
No.
Yes, you're
lying,
fucking
bro.
this one up, right?
Mentira, bro. You are mentiroso.
Kristen Williams,
Yeah, that's white.
and she's white.
Like that's the driven snow.
Yeah.
But how is she born and raised down here?
100%.
Well,
You know why?
That's
Because her
different.
grandfather. What does that mean? What's different?
That's different.
So she's not.
It's different
so she's
values. It's different moral compass if you've been born and raised down here.
Her grandfather was a jockey, and Hialeah was popping. The Hialeah racetrack was popping in like the 50s, and so they came down here and they settled here.
Out of where originally?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is white.
That's it's pretty white. Yes, and then my bloodline somehow found her, and we had a little baby girl.
I noticed that. That's awesome.
We had
She's
a little
cool as
girl.
hell,
Yeah,
too.
she's a cool girl.
Badass. She's got a personality.
Are yours that crazy?
No, no. They take after their mom. Dry as a popcorn fart. Just nobody's really too funny.
Your wife might see this.
That's okay.
Okay.
You know how dry popcorn is.
Yeah.
With like no butter and everything.
No butter.
Imagine a
Is it-
fart.
You do this,
Yeah, it just
It's like
it
stuck
can
in
even
the-
stick to the side of your mouth. You don't even know.
and you're like, babe,
Yeah, I know.
is that you?
Dry.
Really?
No, well, the older one is very similar to my wife.
So your wife is just not. She's Cuban,
Yeah.
and not
But she's princesa Cuban, like spoiled Cuban.
like
you
she
know,
had
different.
her
It's-
quinces at 14.
Oh, she had the first Porsche Boxster to hit American shores.
Oh, so she comes from dinero.
Yeah.
I see where your head's at. I see where your head's at.
Retirement plan.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to the suegra.
You said halfway in playing football, you're like, what's the next move, Brett?
Exactly. Well, ironically, when I showed up
I can't
one day,
keep taking these hits to the head.
Sports Illustrated, they sent some guy in to interview us, and we did like a big Sports Illustrated article in college.
Yeah.
And it was about our offensive line and how good we were and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be smart to pull up in my girlfriend's Porsche. So
Your
that,
girlfriend's sport.
yeah, and that got wrote about. So
Only found
this was
out.
before the investigation.
They found out it wasn't yours.
Yeah, they found out it was my girlfriend's. So I tried to floss on them, but if that's even still a word.
Brett brought his
nowadays.
girl's car.
Yeah, Romberg. Look at the circus bear in the Porsche Boxster.
Brett's not doing so well. Yeah. He's marrying for money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out to what's your wife's name?
Emily Rubio.
Shout out to Mrs. Rubio.
Yeah.
Or Mrs.
She took
Romberg.
my name. Yeah, she took my name.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I
Canadians
don't.
are
I don't
weird.
play that.
You don't do that whole. That's a very Canadian thing, though.
She's got to take my deal. I told her all the time, like Google my name and Google your name. See what comes up first.
What does that mean? Like, who's more relevant?
Yeah.
Your wife isn't.
I'm caveman when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah?
I'm a little chauvinistic.
Hit her over the head. Let's go get married.
Yeah. Well, she fooled me, but
What does that mean?
I got tricked. I got duped.
What do you mean you got duped?
I got duped.
What does
You know
that
how
mean?
these Latin girls are, man.
No, I don't.
They
I'm not
got it
married
in their
to-
head that no, I got to be the first to be married, and then if they're not the first to be married, all hell breaks loose, and it's all your fault.
amongst friends and shit.
Yeah,
So how did you get duped?
I got the push. I got pressured, bro.
You got her pregnant.
No.
She held.
We didn't even have any kids. We
she-
didn't have kids until I retired. Like 10 years after I was after playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were married 10 years.
She
Man.
wanted to make sure you were stable.
Yeah, I think that's what I think she wanted, like her mom's support, and you know.
So you met the parents. You're a Canadian white guy, ex football player.
Yeah.
You met the Cuban family. What did they say?
In the beginning, terrified.
They didn't like you.
Abuela was mortified.
They
when
said,
I
"Este es
came.
un bruto."
Brutal. Yeah. Americano. And then she's like, no, he's Canadian. Not Canadiense. So
They don't. It doesn't matter to them.
we vacation in Cuba all the time, so she didn't like that either. You know what I mean? Like
you
Canadians.
guys. So you're a communist too.
Well, you know.
This is not a good. This is
Socialist.
not a good. it's not
Canada's I'm not earning any brownie
No,
points.
not at all, Brett.
Yeah. And then I was about 305 and I had long blonde hair, like to here. So I was
You
like,
look like a serial killer.
I was a hot mess. Yeah. And then I'll never forget where I was sitting in the hot tub and I had my tattoo showed.
Oh.
And yeah, you know how that goes.
Old school Catholic.
You can't. Yeah, it's sailors and prisoners.
Why?
Oh, man. Like, brought her to tears.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man.
The
She
mom?
Was dying. No, abuela.
Oh, abuela.
And abuela's abuela looks like my abuela more than it looks like her abuela. Like my wife is brown hair, darker skin.
Yeah.
Abuela's like from Spain, like blue-eyed, blonde, very pale.
Right.
That's her grandmother.
So did she? So she didn't sync with you?
Not in the beginning, no.
No?
No, man. And then she saw like how good I took care of everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. Not necessarily financially, but like repairs, fixing phones, like just, being
handyman.
Being the guy for the family. Whatever needed done, I would do it.
Yeah.
So, and then cooking, me and her shared, that was our common bond.
You cook.
Cook. Yeah.
You guys cook.
Well, that's ultimately how I learned Spanish, really, was sitting with her.
Cooking?
We would cook, and then we would watch Caso Cerrado. That's it. Those are the two. We'd go from the fridge.
This is your wife?
Her grandmother, yeah.
Oh, you would bond with Caso Cerrado with the grandmother.
Yeah, man. And we'd sit back and forth, and we found ways to communicate, man. I didn't know a word of Spanish.
Over like a Mata Hadoy?
I didn't do that. I've never done one of those, man.
You never drank Mata?
No, I've never done Mata.
You should have fucking brought some Matas, bro. Why didn't you fucking tell me he's never drank Mata?
Yeah, I've never done that before. So I'm always afraid of stuff like that.
Of Mata? It's not abstinent.
It doesn't have like a lot of sugar or something like that?
Not really.
No? Which one has a lot of sugar in it?
Oh, no. It's like Hopiña and those drinks. The Mata's like a malt drink.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the one with the little Indian head on the front.
No, I used to have to buy him for the suegro. He loves that crap.
So
he's got a sweet tooth.
How was the suegro?
Suegro's good, man. Suegro's got Parkinson's though, so he's kind of like he's struggling, man. His story is unbelievable. I'll never forget. We so him and Emily's mom, him and my suegra, they started a freight forwarding company down here from New York, and they were the first freight forwarding company in the free trade zone. Okay. Here in like off the turnpike somewhere. I don't know where the hell it was.
Okay.
And they did really, really well. Like they did very, very good for themselves.
We're talking back in the day, or
all the way till like 2000, the early 2000s.
Solid.
And then he decided to retire, and he sold his building, he sold his business, put a lot of money in the bank, and then we went on a trip together, like the celebratory trip,
right?
And we got ironically, basically shell shocked by Hurricane Emily down in Mexico, and we had to go to a shelter.
Are you referring to your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And ironically, we were sitting there in like some schoolhouse, and he was staring out the window looking at the hurricane, and I could see his thumb moving down by his hip. And I was just like, he's got Parkinson's. Like,
oh, you were the first
I'm
one
talking,
to see that?
I'm like talking like weeks after retirement. And I looked at her and I was like, your dad's got Parkinson's. And she's like, no, he doesn't. And I said, I have it in my family. I know what Parkinson's looks like.
Because he wasn't even aware. He was just
not even aware of it. Not even.
And you caught it.
Yeah. And I was like, and I told her mom, I was like, you need to get him tested to see if he's got Parkinson's. She's like, no, he's fine. Stubborn.
Well, maybe you thought it. Well,
stubborn.
What do you mean? I know. We're not stubborn.
You guys are stubborn.
We're not very stubborn. Stop fucking saying that, Brett. We're not stubborn.
You guys.
You guys.
I'm separating everybody.
So you essentially diagnosed the old man.
And then when I was with the Jaguars, I even got I don't know if this is even legal, but I got my team doctor to basically get stuff that was over in Israel that wasn't approved by the FDA and bring it over here. And that made him last for 10 years, 11 years before even having any more symptoms.
What?
But then his body became immune to it. And then it got approved over here after like year 8 or something like that of taking it. And then it just was a little bit downhill after that. So yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. So, but that guy's going to live longer than I'm going to live. I promise you. that dude's so, all he does is melt chocolate in a pot and drink it. That's what he lives off of, man. He just loves sweets, bro. He'll eat everything sweet. Everything.
How is he going to live longer doing that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
So does he have full-blown Parkinson's now?
Yeah. His mind's starting to go a little bit.
Do you ever get credit? Like you ever walk the house and be like, hey, remember I told you you're going to get it?
I think he's given me a high five once or twice, yeah.
But on purpose?
No. they used to mess with him. We used to go hunting, and his hunting camp buddies, you know, you guys Jodiendo all the time.
I don't like the you guys thing.
Yeah. The Jodiendo all the time.
Yeah.
And they used to mess with him about, being able to, pleasure a bunch of women at the same time because of the shakes. The jokes were endless with him. So
we do have a good sense of humor, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you guys do. You guys do. You make light of every situation.
We try to. Mm-hmm. So the whole family likes you. They've accepted you.
Yeah, they love me.
Now that you've assaulted your wife with 3 kids.
Yeah. I know, that's weird, right? I've always thought that was weird.
3
daughters, man. Yeah, back to back to back.
How far apart are
5, 4, and like 16 months.
What?
I'm in the shit right now.
You didn't fucking get off of her.
No, man. Animal.
Did she want that?
No, I don't think so. Nobody really does, do they?
No.
Not when you're. Not when you're around 265. Nobody wants that huffing and puffing.
That was
on
an
them.
assault, dude.
Ultimately,
Is there an A form out with your name on it?
There's possible.
How is it being a girl dad?
You know what? Ironically, before the whole thing with Kobe happened, I was sitting with my wife and I was getting ready to start a freaking clothing company. Some similar to like, hashtag dad strong girl dads or
something with
something
like
having to do with father of daughters.
I thought about that.
Father of daughters.
A lot of the videos that I do with my daughter get that reaction. And I guess it's because there's so many shitty fucking dads out there.
100%.
And you don't realize that, but like, it's that bond, dude, early on
It's weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love making videos with her. I love to sit around sometimes and just watch her little mind go.
But it seems like she's got I don't know your wife, but it seems like she's like she's you. Like she's your spitting
She is.
image
She is.
of
In
yourself.
fact, my wife says that if we have the boy, hopefully it'll be a lot like her. Because she tried, like, my daughter drives my girl crazy. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy to see that in her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they're here to substitute us.
Yeah, they really are. And they're the worst investment in the world. Like, they really are.
It was stupid. So are you broke now?
I'm going to be. And by the time that all this private school.
Because you do private schools.
Jesus,
why would you
man.
do that, dude? Take her to public schools.
That's a good
Fuck
question.
that.
I would. And ironically, her aunt used to run, or her cousin used to run Pinecrest Elementary, and now she works for the board. So she's like actually like approved and was like, yeah, man, you guys need to go to Pinecrest Elementary. It's right around the corner from my house.
Yeah.
Hop, skip, and a jump. But, but no, my wife did the whole private school thing, and it's freaking expensive. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 100 in the hole every year.
Yeah.
With all three. Once all three are in school, I'm gonna be 100 in the hole. Just waking up in the morning.
Limp back out on the football field at 50 and just take some hits.
I'm gonna figure something out. Get in that concussion lawsuit. Figure something out, man.
Tired as fuck. Just
man.
Out a beer belly.
Limping. A hot mess. Yeah. Put me in the fourth quarter, coach.
So let me ask you, Brett, how was that experience as a professional? Because you played professional football for how long?
9 years, almost
Too
a
long.
decade. Yeah,
Too long.
Long time.
Ever were you ever alone in a locker room with Aaron? Was that before your
with who?
With Aaron?
Who's Aaron?
Hernandez?
Oh no, we started that relationship. No, I'm just kidding. Did you see how excited that was on the documentary?
Yes,
that high school boyfriend was a little too animated for me, man.
He was fucking hyped, dude.
He
threw that curveball all the time. Like, nah, Aaron was a really good football player. I sucked his dick once.
We two were the fucking best. We were awesome. And then, like he was gay and I was gay. And I just was like,
where did that come from?
Relax, man.
Even the dad was like, oh, he was great. If you want to suck each other's dicks in the line, and you're like,
I was taken off guard by that. Like I knew a lot of people already knew about this.
Was that okay? Now
it was one of those.
Let's get into this for a second.
Yeah.
You coming from that world. Obviously, he was a little younger than you. Was that known around the?
Yeah, there's quite a few names that are known around the NFL
really?
that are.
You want to drop some? Tom
no,
Brady.
Not. But I've actually sought out, not necessarily help, but I've sought out how to try to tell somebody that it's cool, it's okay. Because I feel like it would make life so much easier for so many of the guys that are
gay.
Yeah, like football. I feel they're not in there to try to pick you up. Number one, and this is like the biggest misconception is, and then even the lady that was interviewing, I think it was on ESPN. Remember when the kid that came out he came out right before the draft and he got drafted by the Rams, ironically, my old team.
Yeah.
And
he said, well, Brett did
Sam, right? I believe his name was Michael Sam or something like that.
Remember what that was?
Yeah, Michael Sam or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And instead of like asking about his performance in camp on the field,
she asked
the guys, do you shower with him? And how do you feel about showering with him? And then the dude looked at her and was just like, fine, I guess.
I was like, what the fuck?
He ain't giving me rubbing tugs in the shower. Like, relax, man.
Cause I guess that's the misconception that they get into football because they want.
Oh, yeah, because they're trying to pick up us. Because there's nothing better than a fat, sweaty human being.
Brett Romberg with the Falcons.
I got hair all over my ass. It ain't happening. You know what I mean? I'm not going anywhere near that bad boy.
So was there talks of that when you were there?
Yeah, and it was more malicious than it was accepted.
The shit talking.
Yeah, it was bad. Like
also
he's
different
still
era,
calling guys like still using the fag word and that kind of thing, and amongst the African American community, like especially in the locker room, they don't play that stuff. Like I would be the guy joking around, running around bare ass, taping my deal up, like acting a fool.
Doesn't he have that swag to him? Like in remember
like
the Titans or whatever. He's the one fucking whipping people in the ass with the towel.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah,
You're the guy with his dick
I'm
out all the time.
Very comfortable in my sexuality.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, very, very extremely. And all the time, like the minute I would do something. So for instance, we used to play wiffle ball in Atlanta in the locker room.
Yeah.
And there was a corner of the locker room in Atlanta that it was all linebackers.
Yeah.
And the whites are few and far between.
yeah. In
the linebacking core.
Yeah.
And especially when I was with the Falcons, and they used to have a thing called D Block where they would have a show every Friday. And it was a little hood, you know what I mean? It was ghetto, and you had to like get permission to walk through, and they ask you for your passport and shit. It was fun. It was locker room banter. It was great.
Yeah.
But when it was downtime, they would like to play wiffle ball.
Yeah.
And what I ended up doing was I ended up using like tensor wrap, and I just
bat
wrapped
with
my
your
deal
dick. Yeah.
and made a big bat with it. And I ran up to home plate, and I was like, "I'm ready to play, boys." And then they dropped everything and just dispersed. And they're like, "Quit playing, man! Quit playing! Hey, man, quit playing, man!" And I'm just like, "What? Are we playing? Or are we not playing?" And they didn't enjoy that. I didn't understand why not, man.
Has his dick bat out again,
Yeah,
man.
hey,
Fucking dick bat.
Hey, put that meat back in, man.
Hey.
Go ahead, put that meat away.
What kind of accent's that?
I'm doing the you guys thing again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was a little urban. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, go ahead, put that meat away, man. Hey, man.
Hey, put that dick bat away,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey, go ahead, put that dick bat away, man.
That Aaron Hernandez shit.
I don't know. After the shit that I heard about him, how twisted.
Did you know anybody that knew him?
Pouncey and those guys, but even
that's
cats
right.
at Florida, like cats at Florida knew something was wrong. Like they all knew something was wrong. And I know Pouncey was one of his boys hanging out with him and stuff. But I'm talking about like some of the Florida boys that I played with. They knew he wasn't to be like trifled with. Like he
was a rap so tight.
Yeah. Like
because there's one thing that you're on edge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe you're just a tough dude, right? But some of the shit, like even in the documentary that you saw, it's like, yo, somebody spilled the drink on you. You shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
That's Aaron.
You could tell that like some guys have that switch, and you see it on the football field, but you could also see it eating lunch. You could see it having breakfast. It's just
they're just eating aggressively.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to be bothered. And sometimes they'll put on the happy face and it'll be comical. And then all of a sudden you'll see that emotional roller coaster shift into a total new realm. So you're just like, oh, man.
So let me ask you, do you think, because the conclusion was CT, advanced stage.
Yeah, probably one of the worst,
stages
right?
of CT. Right.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that, on the whole CT?
I think it's legit.
Thing?
I think CT is totally legit, yeah.
Because Will Smith obviously exposed it.
Yeah, that movie was epic. That really was, and it was very awkwardly released, and only one producing or production company was going to handle it because somehow Disney and ABC and CBS were affiliated with ESPN, and nobody wanted to mess with that. Nobody wanted to touch it. Why do you
think is it because obviously of the money that NFL brings in?
Yeah,
because you saw it even in the Aaron Hernandez thing. He got into some shit in Florida. And they're like, no, he's one of our star players. So it never happened.
A lot of stuff gets brushed under the rug.
How many people have you killed?
This year, none.
Well, you're not on.
That's true. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, so those that passes. You're done with that.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
But to be perfectly honest with you, like I say this all the time. I don't remember either national championship game, the trip out there. Like my wife would tell me that my whole family went out to the Rose Bowl out in California.
You don't remember this?
Not a fucking memory. Not a minute.
Have they studied?
I don't even remember the game. I don't remember anything. And then,
adrenaline maybe. Were you stoked?
The week? No, we were out there for a week. You're out there for a week.
You don't remember the whole thing?
Hell no, man.
Do you ever fear that you might? In all seriousness, you ever fear that?
Oh my God, yeah. I don't remember my senior year of high school. I don't remember both national championship games. I don't remember my senior year of high school. Ironically, my friend, so me, Joaquin Gonzalez, Martin Bibla, we had like a little reunion thing maybe about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
You're like, who are you guys?
No, I remember them. Yeah. And but they had their wives with them, and we were all like, all the wives went out, the girlfriends went out, and we all had a dinner, and we were sitting there talking, and the guys were having a cigar, and the girls were sitting there chopping it up with us. And she was commenting on how I used to make fun of Bibla and her because they were virgins until they got married. They waited for each other. And I used to sing Madonna all the time in the locker room. And I didn't remember this. And I sang it actually walking out of the Orange Bowl. And I made the whole team sing like a virgin walking out of the Orange Bowl on the way to the bus.
Very mature.
Super. I was that guy. I was the asshole.
Yeah.
And then she said, do you even remember coming to our wedding? And I was just like, no.
Wow,
I said I was never at your wedding. She goes, you were in our wedding party. You stood in our wedding, and I don't even remember that. I'm telling you, there's so many parts of my life.
Brett, that's
every off season we used to
serious,
go.
bro.
Yeah, it's legit. Like every off season we used to go and live overseas somewhere. We would pick a place and go enjoy an off season of like a month and a half. And it got to the point where after a couple of years, I would pick that place that we already been to, acting like I couldn't remember we were there.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a legit thing.
This took a turn into a kind of a serious
Is it a little
thing.
morbid? Is it dark?
No. I'm saying, Brett, as a friend, because I think we're best friends.
I think
now.
I'm going to be eating dinner through a straw. I've said this many times. I think.
Have you checked your brain? Have you checked? Have you gotten CAT scans and all that good stuff?
There's a little gray. There's a little gray.
Really?
Yeah, there's already a little gray. But you're going to do a follow up in a few years. They say I think it's every 5 years they want you to do a follow up or something like that. They'll get your baseline and you'll find out your cognitive abilities and the ability to remember orders and things of that sort. That's how they kind of check your brain.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's a legit thing. They're nervous, man. The NFL is really nervous about it because when I went back my last year, I went to go use my helmet that I used in the year prior, and they said no. And I was like, "What do you mean no?" And they're like, "Yeah, no." And I was like, "Okay, well, what about that piece of equipment?" And they're like, "No."
So you basically
I'm looking at the equipment guys in the room, and they're just like, they're giving me the shakes, like, no. Yeah, it's like patterns full, man. Go.
Well, imagine back in the fucking Jim Thorpe era where you just wear a fucking pillow.
They give you a Band-Aid for a chin strap, and that's about it.
A Band-Aid and a pillow, dude. All right, Jimmy.
Yeah, get in there, buddy.
Get in there.
Yeah. Knock him dead. Knock him dead.
Imagine those days, dude.
Yeah, man. And the guys are getting bigger and fat. I watch football today, and I almost watch it in disbelief because there's no way that part of my life was real. Like I can't see myself being that physical again. That is just. I watch the hits and the contact and the aggression.
Did you ever have you ever had a concussion?
Oh, yeah.
You knocked out cold.
For a few seconds you get knocked out, and then you get up and you like go back to the huddle. And
what's that feeling like, Brett, when you run out to the field, the pressure's on? Mm-hmm. What's that fucking feeling like at the playoffs?
It's intense, man.
Where every cat, you need to catch that fucking ball. You need to make that tackle. You need to make that play where the pressure's fucking on. Yeah. Everybody's watching you. Now there's a whole state watching you. You're responsible for it. What's that pressure like?
You're taught your whole career to like make everything about as minimal as possible. So whatever's going on between those white lines, it's still the same measurement. It's still the same guys you're playing with. It's just 11 on 11. There's nobody else. The outside world does not exist, but you're also trying to feed off of the excitement of the outside world. So it's one of those things where you have selective hearing, kind of similar to like your wife probably. Same thing. It's like you hear when you need to hear what's going on in the audience. So running out on the field is the most probably moving experience because every step you take, it's the way that the sound resonates in your head and in your helmet while your feet are hitting the ground. It's like a rah, 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 every step. And it's just so loud. And it's to the point where I would always, if I'm snapping the football and I have like, whether it's Matt Ryan or was Mark Bulger yelling or Aaron from behind, yelling in my ear hole, I'd have to snap the football and put my head like that because that's how loud it is on that field. And you really can't. So you have to go to silent count. And that's why you see like the center put the head between the legs and the guy beside him
kind of reset.
It's amazing. It really is. It's an amazing feeling.
So you can't really you wouldn't really even be able to if someone's running behind you, you would just have to feel it, right? You can't really tell, you can't really hear it.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You just have to feel that.
That's it, man. The ghost steps. Yeah. Yeah, it's really neat. It's actually really, really neat how at that point in time, you got 10 other guys on that football field that really depend on you doing your job. Yeah. So it's not just, a doubles match of tennis where you have a partner that, you're taking half and he's taking half or he or she. It's literally like an orchestra of you depend on the dude that's way the hell 25 yards over there in order to make his block so you can make yours. And it's almost like a symphony. It's symphonic. It's nice.
Brett, is Tom Brady the best football player? The best
Tom Brady's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Just like that.
And yeah, it's freaking amazing. It is
because this guy gets so much shit. But I mean, you have to.
I can't deny it. Like you honest to God cannot deny the fact that guy is, and I will never count him down and out. I say it once in a while on my show that we saw the worst month of football we've probably seen out of Tom Brady in a long time in December, which is a very rare thing last year on the way to the playoffs. that's usually the time where, New England goes north.
Right.
And between him and Bill Belichick, I don't know, man. There isn't a more lethal duo.
You played Tom Brady.
Oh yeah. We played against each other quite a bit. It's cool. And the reason why it was cool was because
you're kind of playing history. You're in history,
bro. Like Brett Favre, like all these guys.
Fucking crazy. And Brett went on to what, 45 almost, right?
Yeah, man. I told the story about, my birthday's the same as Favre's birthday, and our both name is Brett. So I'm out in Lambeau Field stretching on my birthday, and the crowd is singing "Happy Birthday" to Brett.
You feel like,
and I'm like, these guys are the best fans in the world, man. These are the best fans. And then all of a sudden, I turn around on SV Favre, and Favre's giving the old wave.
Fuck.
I was like, God damn it! Here's Earth, Brett. Welcome back to it. Welcome back to it. Yeah.
All right. So who would be like your top? Let's say top 3 players all time. Let's do quarterbacks. Top 3 quarterbacks all time.
Peyton, Tom, and I'm gonna have to go with Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, Peyton, Tom Brady, and Joe Montana are my top
None of the
3.
quarterbacks you had.
No. I like Matty. I think Matt Ryan's good, Matty Ice, but there was always that, at the end of like a New Orleans Saints game, or when you saw it in the Super Bowl, like it kind of like a little bit of a poop in the bed situation going on.
Were you at the Super Bowl?
No, we almost made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, this year. Were you out there?
No, I didn't go. I could have went. I told myself a long time ago that if I've never played in it, I'll never attend it. You weren't going to go,
really?
Yeah. I'm one of those like superficial
like, fuck
kind of guys.
All you guys.
Yeah, like I'm just
like you're going to starve yourself because you didn't.
Yeah.
How close did you get?
Self-persecution.
How close did you get, Brett?
Colin Kaepernick beat us. It was a similar situation when the Falcons actually went to the Super Bowl and played against the Patriots, where the Falcons were beating the Patriots. I think it was like by 19 or 20 at halftime. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Tom Brady happens. And then they win the Super Bowl. So Colin Kaepernick, similar situation happened against the 49ers.
Like you didn't hate the guy already.
No, I didn't mind Cap. Like, here's the way I felt about that whole taking a knee thing too. I enjoy the fact that they're using the stage that they have. The NFL football players, I mean. I understand. I understand the meaning behind it. I felt like it was just so lost within what the image that they were trying to portray. I felt like a lot of the Confederate flag toting human beings immediately had an excuse and found a way to twist the message that he was trying to portray.
Yeah, I agree.
I understand his message.
Yeah.
Do I agree with the route that he took after? And then when he showed up here and said that Fidel Castro, like if you want to talk about some unaware and just the dumbest shit you've ever seen happen in professional sports. Like and then I think he doubled down by saying he likes what he's doing over there with the whole education system thing. I kind of just I put my head down. I said, "Oh, just stop, just fucking stop."
There's certain places you can't go to and kind of spew certain things like that.
Yeah, probably not.
Miami,
like talking about the Holocaust at maybe Temple, that might be a bad thing too.
Yeah, I think that's a bad one.
That's probably a bad mentioning Adolf. Like, isn't it in like the Jewish culture that you're not allowed to name your kids? Or I know there's countries that you're not allowed to name your kid Adolf.
I think in Germany, I don't think.
Is that what it is? In Germany, you're not allowed now?
I mean, you can look that up, but I think so. I don't
so
think
what about like all the Cuban Adolfos that are here? How does that work?
Well, they're not in Germany.
So it's accepted.
I think that. Yeah, I think that's not a.
Do you know many Adolfos? I know probably two or three.
Adolfo?
Yeah, Adolfo.
I know Fidel. My ex neighbor, my old neighbor used to be Fidel. We know where it is.
My abuelita was Fidelina.
Your abuelita was Fidelina?
Yeah, man. That
Canadian?
Was no, the
Cuban
one. Oh, yeah. I called her my abuelita también. So
she passed?
Yeah, she went. I had to pull the plug.
CT?
No. She had. She went in with I think pneumonia or something like that.
Coronavirus.
Well, yeah. I was I felt like Kevorkian because I think a year later I ended up pulling the plug on my old man too. So that was a rough. That was a rough decision.
Just pulling plugs on air.
I'm out there. I'm just like, God damn, man. Sticky fingers Romberg. Here comes Sticky fingers Romberg pulling
here
plugs.
Here comes the plug.
Yeah. So it was.
So your dad passed.
Yep. Yeah, my old man, 58 or 59.
He was 58, 59?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh shit! I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Man. Yeah. That was
over here. Was he over here? Or was he back over there?
He was back in Canada, and again, the whole social medicine thing, like the whole socialist medicine stuff that happens in Canada, people don't realize it. They're thinking, you get free medic. It sucks.
There's a whole wave on this.
It fucking sucks.
So you're actually Canadian. You're here in the U.S. Tell us if you want to get into it. How's that? How's the medicine? How's the medical world over there?
Medical world over there sucks. If you have the common cold and you're doing your regular everyday checkups and all that other stuff, and your dental and your eyes and stuff, it's good. It's
you
good.
Hear there's a wait. There's a wait. If you're going in there for something,
my brother had to go into the emergency room and piss himself in order to go ahead and get surgery.
So you have to do.
You have to do the extreme.
We kind of have that swag going on in Jackson Memorial. You got to do some crazy because there's people in there on fire. Waiting,
but you got to wait. I love when you have the ER billboards up that is telling you how long the wait is at your local hospital. Is that only here or is that elsewhere too? Because
that's in Jackson.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. They're letting you know how long you're going to be waiting there if you're bleeding.
Oh yeah. I've seen people shot waiting.
That's
I went in there once
insane,
with a I had a severe headache. I think they literally just in the glass, you can't really hear back there. I told them what it was, and then she said it to them, and I just saw all of them go.
Oh, the belly laughs.
I'm just fucking headache. That guy's on fire.
He doesn't have any arm left. Its arm got ripped off.
That guy's missing limbs.
Yeah, bro. No.
Yeah, caught Brett. He likes to pull plugs. Caught Brett the plug
this
puller.
Guy in. The Reaper.
Yeah.
And then here. It's just I pay a shitload of money for my freaking medical here. Like that's that's your catch-22.
That's your
you want an MRI, you want a CAT scan, you want orthopedic surgery to happen, you need an ACL repaired.
Yeah.
In Canada, you're waiting like 6-7 months. So like what the fuck are you supposed to do? You're supposed to walk around with a blown ACL for 6 months? It's just horrible. It's horrible.
But you don't pay.
I have like basically avoided anything. I don't have any credit cards over there. I haven't had my free medical, which is OHIP, Ontario Health Insurance Premium, whatever the hell it is. Basically, when I left Canada, I never went back in terms of like mentally. I would go back, visit family all the time, multiple times a year.
But you just disconnected, said I'm American now. Are you American?
Yeah, I'm dual citizen now.
So you could go, okay, so you're both Canadian.
I'm dual. But when I travel abroad, I use my Canadian passport.
Really? Why? Because you're more sophisticated?
Because the world hates America,
Do you think you're better than us?
I do, yeah.
So Brett, tell us a little bit about your relationship with Deftones. A lot of people that know me know that my favorite band.
You got a small resemblance to Chino too, the lead singer.
They say that obviously through your racist eyes we all look the same.
Yeah.
He's Hispanic also. This is the B-sides and rarities. This is Deftones.
It's a good one.
One of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band. We talked about this. You have a connection to.
You're busy.
I'm just famous.
No.
You knew Chi Chang, the old bass player.
Yeah, man.
For the Deftones.
He loved my wife. He was a sweetheart, man. He was a big dude, just a sweet, gentle
human
being.
Get into how do you know the Deftones?
My tattoo artist did a lot of tattoo work for a lot of music bands, and he knew I was a sucker for rock bands. So he was like living the dream in both ends, where he was, hanging out with rock stars, but he was also hanging out with athletes. So I'd bring him along with me and hang out, and he did all my tattoo work. And he was just like, you want to go to a Deftones concert? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to go to a Deftones concert. So
this is what, like early 2000s when they're...
Yeah, man, this is like, I don't even know if I was still in college or not. I can't remember. That would have been a violation. So probably I'll say it was after college.
Yeah, sure.
I think my first show is we showed up in Orlando and we spent the weekend in Orlando. We made a weekend of it. So ultimately what I did was I went to the ESPN zone, signed autographs for an hour. They comped my whole weekend at Disney. And yeah, so it must have been when I was a pro already. So then I met them at the Hard Rock in Orlando there, the Hard Rock Live or whatever that is in like Disney Springs or whatever that.
Yeah, the House of Blues?
Something like that. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we walk in the back. We're in Chino's carpeted back room area, like with like lava lamps and like black lights and shit.
Of course.
And they were
so dope.
This is during the time when they were experimenting, if you will. They were into some different shit.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. So we're sitting there.
But you knew them. You knew who they were before you went to this whole thing.
Yeah. And then my wife, we sit down and we're hanging out and Abe was like, the drummer was passed out because he had a rough night the night before. So Abe gets up and he's like, I got to go get my massage. So he's going to get his massage. And then Chino walks in and sits down and he's like, what's up? And I'm just like, what's going on? He's like, nah, I just had my massage. I'm like, cool. So he like leans his head back and he's clearly like kind of spaced out. He's a little spaced out at this point in time. And this is about an hour and a half before showtime. And my wife hits me and she goes, "Who the fuck is this loser?" And I just said, "We're in his dressing room. That's the lead singer of the band. You want to fucking calm down a minute?"
She thought he was like the janitor?
She thought he was like some fucking roadie or something like that, coming in trying to hang out and take a break.
Who's this fucking loser? The only reason everyone's there is because of him.
I felt so bad. I was just like, "Hey man, don't mind her, bro."
Did he hear her?
Yeah.
She said it loud enough for
Yeah. She doesn't have no pena.
The Cuban.
I'm telling you, bro. You put two Cubans in a restaurant, they're louder than the whole fucking restaurant.
I don't like that.
It is what it is,
I don't
man.
like that.
Wear that.
I don't
it's
like
true.
that.
It's
so
true.
Chino
statement.
just came in and just fucking. How chill is that dude, bro? How
He
cool?
is. He is now. Yeah, he's. And then now that like they've cleaned up their shit, and that's why they're coming out with banging music.
Dude,
they've really done amazing. The last couple albums have been light years.
I went to their last concert here. I think it was at the Fillmore. I think it was at the Fillmore or at the amphitheater.
I think it was at the amphitheater.
And dude, I was just so impressed by this. Is a what, a 50-year-old man, 45-year-old man,
still jumping off speakers.
2-hour concert. A 2-hour.
And they get juicy, bro. They get sweaty as hell.
Sweaty, and it's not fucking Andrea Bocelli.
No.
Which I mean, even at that, but. This guy's streaming off the top of his lungs.
Did you like when he started doing that new high pitched stuff? Like a couple of years back, he started with that, like the end of the like almost annoying noise that he does. That he hits
squeal?
that high pitched squeal.
That pig squeal.
Yeah,
it gets me hard.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it all the time. I will be honest,
because he was beating the hell out of it. Like he was
using
using it too much at one point.
I saw a video where he did a song with Tool, with the lead singer of Tool, Passenger, but I guess he tried to cover it on his own.
He tried to do Maynard's voice. Bad decision on his part. Maynard James.
The crowd, dude, usually at this point, by the time the hook comes around, the crowd's going crazy.
Of course.
Everyone was like,
Maynard James.
Brett, I gotta ask you.
Go ahead.
Because I ask everybody, and this is a subject that really interests me. What do you think about the paranormal?
I'm a believer, man.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Ghosts, UFOs, Sasquatch?
I don't know about the alien thing.
The abominable snowman?
The who?
The abominable?
Yeah, no, it's not it. No, you said it's Spanish. In English, it's called abdominal.
The abdominal snowman.
Yeah, the one with the abs.
It's the one with the abs, you son of a
Abdominable.
bitch. Abdominable. You believe in him?
The Yeti? No.
I should have just said Yeti. It would have saved me
it's
fucking
simple,
20 minutes.
Right? It's like the cups.
The Yeti. No.
I don't believe in the Sasquatch.
You believe in ghosts?
I do believe in ghosts.
Have you had an experience?
I have had an experience.
Before or after the head injuries?
Before, as a kid.
Tell me.
The first one.
As a little lad in Canada.
Yeah.
Was the ghost super nice?
As a wee lad in Canada.
wee.
My Irish groups.
Oh.
Yeah, I was sitting there, and I'll never
saw
forget
ghosts.
this. I had a giant Raggedy Ann doll. You know Raggedy Ann and Andy.
You've said enough.
They're fucking creepy as is.
Why would you have a Raggedy Ann doll?
Oh, just made my skin. I'm telling you right now.
Can we turn off one of the lights?
I'm gonna start to get my hair standing up on my forearms.
Really, dude?
Yeah, I get freaked out. I can't take it.
How old were you?
We lived at that. I was 9 years old, and then we moved to another house where I had some other creepy shit happen too. So this fucking doll, I promise
So it's you. It's not the house.
It's the goddamn doll. So I ended up having like a life-size Raggedy Ann doll. And that was the first mistake.
yeah, that's your fucking mom. He's gonna be a football player. Hey, give him a doll. Change his mind.
Put the goddamn doll in the chair, Brett. Leave him alone for Christ's sake.
Leave him in the room with the doll.
I'll never forget. It was a rainy night, and
of course
that fucking doll was in that chair for days. Never touched, never moved. I never touched that fucking doll. I left it alone. It was in the straw chair, and it was stuck in the corner of my room. And I'll never forget, it was like a stormy night, rainy night, and I kind of woke up in the middle of the night, and I was already afraid of the dark as a kid. I'm not a brave individual when it came to the dark as a kid. And you know how my dad corrected that? He threw me in the basement, and he locked the door, and he said, deal with it.
Your dad was more Americanized.
Gangster.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you have psychological problems when you grow up. Deal with it. So
you throw the doll in there too?
No, that's coming up. And yeah. No, I'm telling you, man. I don't even like telling the story because I start getting fucking creepy.
Tell it. Yeah,
I know I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight thinking about it. I guarantee you. I'm gonna dream about this tonight. Yeah, because this is like a childhood thing.
Rainy day, Canada.
Nighttime, and you know, like when like lightning hits, or you might have a street light with like, you know, the trees blowing, which creates a shadow in your room. So I'm already looking at the shadow on the wall, and I'm thinking it already looks kind of creepy. And then all of a sudden, I look at this fucking doll, and the doll kind of like gets up and falls out of the chair. You want to talk about, and my nipples are rock hard right now because but my hair is up. I'm telling you, it not just like kind of tipped over. It kind of almost fucking got up and went like, and it's not supposed to move. It hasn't moved in days. And I'm looking at this thing, and I said, "Oh fuck no!" But it's right by the door, so I can't go.
This was your room,
in my bedroom,
by yourself.
Yeah, man. I'm telling. See, this fucking doll's out there.
You didn't just hear somebody sneeze?
I heard something, but I had the headphones.
Yeah, they sneeze. Yeah, somebody sneezed.
Somebody sneezed right outside the door. If we open and there's a fucking doll out there, you're never coming back to the show. Lock the fucking door. I know this sounds like we're playing.
No, man.
This sounds like we're playing.
If you put a Ouija board on this fucking table, I'm running through a wall. That wall ain't that thick. I'll run right
raggedy.
through it. Yeah. So that was the one scenario. Another scenario.
Wait. So what do you do when the doll falls?
Screamed. My fucking head off. Just screamed. Screamed for hell. Just screamed.
Okay, now let's go into the scientific explanation. Could it have been that it thundered, shook your because I assume that the base, the construction foundation of Canadian,
it's on carpet. It was fine.
The engineering might have not been as stable as American engineering, and maybe the floors moved a little bit, rocked.
We're wood experts. We're surrounded by trees. We're wood experts. We know how to go ahead and whittle wood. We make good things out of wood. Maybe the stop trying to justify it. It was horrific. It was bad. And it's something happened. So what I did when we moved to this other house is, unfortunately, there was a laundry chute that went from the second floor down to the basement where my mom would do the laundry.
I would have slid down that bitch like fucking Macaulay Culkin.
Mother scruncher. So what I would do during the day is when my mom would go down to do laundry, I would go down and beat the shit out of that doll. Just beat the shit right out of it. And then at night, I would lay there with one eye open on my bunk bed, hoping that it would come in and get my brother first. That's why he was on the bottom. And I would one eye open that motherfucker, and I would stare at that laundry chute. I'm telling you, I was terrified that thing was going to come crawling up that laundry chute.
Were you beating the fuck out of the doll? If there's any point that it comes to life, I would fucking attack you too.
And so you can imagine when Chucky became a movie, how terrified I was of that fucking Chucky movie.
So what was the second experience?
The second experience is I'm on the bed sleeping.
With the doll?
This doll's gone. This is when I'm a little bit older. Now I'm like around 11
So how do you get rid of the doll though first? That's the first question.
I told my mom it's got to go. It's done. I can't take it anymore.
So 9-year-old Brett sits down with his mom and goes, we got to talk about this Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, it's got to go, man. It's out. It's fucking out. Can't have it anymore.
So you beat the shit out of the doll.
Oh, on the reg, bro.
What do you think that was gonna do?
Hopefully, it would have lumped him up so he was too sore at night when he came alive to come up that laundry chute. I wanted to try to cripple that thing, man.
You would just punch his legs?
Oh, I'd light that thing up. Bad, bro. Figure 4, camel clutch, whatever I had to do for it, you know. And then my other experience was,
bro, what are you doing to that doll?
Why is there a hole in the back of that doll? Hold on a minute. What are you doing with it?
Missing his legs, bro?
Why is it crusty? And then the next scenario was I was laying on my bed and I was sleeping at a friend's house.
How old were you?
21, 22. Okay. I was already. This is already. I'm older. Some time passed by. Okay. Yeah, I'm older. And I'm sleeping at a buddy's house.
Aaron.
And he lost his sister. No, it wasn't
Hernandez. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You get me serious.
And he lost his sister when they were kids. And he forgot to tell me that his sister is still running around the house, haunting the house. And I ended up sleeping in his room that night.
This was here in the States?
Yeah, he's in Palm Beach. Super wealthy kid.
His sister passed young.
They were probably around 15, 16, and she was 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. And I ended up that night, we all went crazy. And I don't know where he stayed. He might have stayed somewhere else in the house or passed out. And I slept in his room on his bed.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, in the middle of the fucking night, I felt the bed cave on the edge of the bed. And I was just like, oh, this dude's fucking trying to get back to sleep now. I'm just like, all right, I got to move over, you know? And it like kind of climbed on like literally.
Right. Like when you
I felt
feel
a
somebody
cave,
coming,
like somebody sitting on the edge.
Right.
And then I felt like a kind of a climb up motion on the back of my legs. And I was just like, what is this fucking guy doing? Is he
felt it on your legs?
Yeah. And then I
said,
kind of, and I was like, dude, get up. And I turned and I looked, nothing was there. Not a fucking thing was there.
You didn't know that.
I got up the next morning and I looked at him and I said, hey man, you're not going to believe what happened to me last night. And he goes, did my sister come in the room last night? And I looked at him and I said, excuse me? I said, what? And he goes, I didn't tell you. She usually comes in.
Oh, he says this as a matter of fact.
Yeah, like it happens all the time. Yeah, man.
Last time you slept over.
Never again.
Those are pretty good. These stories are pretty good.
And the night that I got engaged to my wife at the Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island. Yeah, man. Not visual. I didn't see it.
What the fuck did you do to these ghosts?
I felt it, man. I've never like that was an eerie feeling because I was older at that point in time. Like I'm already 25, 26.
Yeah.
I just proposed to my wife in Amelia Island. We're at the Ritz-Carlton, and it's like an older Ritz-Carlton. So it's like, you know, 2 separate rooms.
So your mindset's just so far away from all that.
I'm like happy. We went horseback riding on the beach.
Wow,
we go to bed.
romantic.
We had adult time. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
We had a nice dinner.
You laid it on her.
Just gave it to her.
Yeah, best 3 minutes
Everything
of her
I
life.
had, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Put my back into it. And then I carry a gun all the time. So I had my gun on the night table. And all of a sudden, I just get this eerie feeling, like out of a dead sleep, eerie wake up, and I feel like somebody is in the fucking room with us. And I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of like, now I used to go through these motions where I'd grab my gun, and if I had an intruder in my house, I would try to find a way to be sneaky about getting a gun and being able to pull it on somebody.
So the intruder just sees Brett like
this is the football stuff.
coming out slow as fuck.
And I'm like, I'm rehearsing how I'm going to be handling the situation, just so I know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I kind of reach for the gun a little bit, and then I'm like sitting there, and I'm feeling this weight on me, like it's like a weight in the room.
Your wife is right next to you.
Wife is sleeping next to me. All of a
Late
sudden,
at night.
This is probably 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night. Nothing crazy. We must have went to bed a little bit early.
Not
had an earlier
drunk,
meal.
were
No, sober as a judge. Sober as a judge. And all of a sudden,
Depends what judge, but yes, go ahead.
And then all of a sudden, she turns her head on the pillow and goes, "Is there somebody here?" And I fucking looked at her and I said, "That's it." Jumped up, hit the light. I had my gun up. I was ready to kill somebody. I was looking up in the corners of the rooms, and then I opened the door to the main room. And I'm like, there's somebody has to be here, because there's no way that I was up out of a dead sleep feeling something like that. And she rolls her head on the pillow and says, "Is there somebody here?"
Okay, now stop.
Out of a dead sleep
wait.
too.
Did she say that because she felt your big ass
No,
in
man.
stealth mode going for the fucking gun?
No fucking way, bro. No, man. No. I was so quiet and discreet about it. Like, I try to make it a point, so as if someone, like, if a robber or an intruder was beside me, they wouldn't even know that I'm doing it. I'm like sliding my hand.
How much you weigh?
At that time, I was like $3.
If you even move a toe in that bed, I'm feeling it. You're saying you're going for
Brother,
your
we
gun?
got the Ritz, brother. Those mattresses are super freaking high tech, man.
You're going for your gun in stealth mode?
Bro.
I'm going to feel that. And I'm going to ask you, hey, Brett,
Yeah.
why are you...
Her reaction wasn't, "What are you doing?" Her reaction was,
Is there somebody here?
Because he's going for his gun.
She don't know it's dark. She don't know that shit.
You think he's going to go make cereal with his gun?
"Yeah, but she would see if she."
What did she say?
She looked at me, rolled her head, and said, "Is there
After.
somebody here?" No, you could ask her the same story. She'll tell you the same fucking
She said,
story.
"I said that because I felt
she
the same
said that
thing."
there was somebody there. There was somebody or something in there.
So what was in there?
Nothing when we got up, man. Zero. Just a fucking.
And then there's
eerie,
always like
weird
the
feeling.
bellboy or somebody that comes in like, "Oh yeah, this room is haunted."
I
Like
felt
on your
it
way out.
was like Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, when the Mina wakes up and then like that thing goes back out the window, the shadow of whatever was there. Bro.
And you never feel anything. You didn't see anything when you turned on the lights.
No.
How do you go back to sleep after
And
that?
it was, but the lighting was a weird lighting too in the room. It was like old vintage lamps and stuff. It was just weird, man. I've stayed on many hotels before, and I've never had that feeling, not once.
Where
in my
was
life.
that at?
Amelia Island at the Ritz-Carlton.
Amelia?
Yeah, it's right off of Jacksonville. It's about an hour away from Jacksonville.
See, I've had weird situations, But I don't think I've ever felt something like that where it's so intense where I fucking wakes me up.
It almost took my breath away. Like I was like when I'm talking like weight, like weighted, like a weight on your chest, like just, and then you're stuck trying to breathe. Like you can't fucking breathe.
Sleep apnea.
That could have been it.
Maybe the ghost.
You know what? Now that I think about it,
the ghost of sleep apnea.
But I was on my belly. What is that? Why does the Cubans speak such horrible Spanish? And why are you guys labeled as like the horrible butchers of the Spanish language? Because I heard Peruvians speak very clear Spanish.
Yeah.
Apparently they're known as like the cleanest Spanish from what I've been told.
You've been told this by Peruvians?
Ironically, you know what? That makes sense.
Well, there you go. We cracked the fucking case, didn't we?
Makes sense. No, but the whole butchering of the mixologist, if you will, that the Cuban culture is here in South Florida in particular.
It's the swagger, dude. We got
Is that what you're calling it?
You know what it is? We just get to what we want to say faster. We don't need to say the whole and intellectualize the whole. We just say, hey, hola.
And hence the ketchup. Oh my God!
What?
Oh my God! Don't do that.
Hey,
bro.
Wait, mira para acá.
Bro, the Guajiro that I was talking to the other day, man, talks exactly like that.
Oye, tranquilo.
Oh my God! I lost it. I'm looking.
Te lo hago por 6 pesos. I don't know what you're doing, but he'll do it for $6. Te lo hago por 6 pesos. Oíste, break. Ramil. Oíste. That's always there.
It's it. Like, it's just, well, it's so bad that obviously I learned my Spanish from Cubans, and the minute I go anywhere else in the world, even if I go to like Italy and I'm speaking to somebody who speaks Italian, they could tell immediately
they pick up on
that, hey, you learned Spanish from Cubans, didn't you? Like legitimate. And I talk to anybody in Spanish, I go and ask, okay.
Give me a little something. Give me a little something.
¿Para qué? ¿Qué tú quieres? Depende. What do you want? What do you want to hear?
See, you know how it's Cuban? Because right out the gate it was aggressive. ¿Para qué? ¿Qué tú quieres? That's such a mechanic Cuban right there. ¿Para qué? Fifth cough. Are we getting that? Fifth cough. It doesn't have anything. ¿Para qué? ¿Y qué te pasa?
Oh, no. And then you start doing that.
Yeah.
You can't do
you
that.
You gotta throw that in there, too.
You can't do that.
Yeah, we speak a lot with... You could tell if you're far enough from two Cubans, you could tell without even hearing them that they're Cuban because it's a lot of this.
The body language itself.
And they're great friends. They're not arguing. It's just like,
the clap too, yeah. Or in this, and then like the...
This.
You do it.
Yeah. And something they do too is that if you're close, they go like this when they go to get a little closer to me. When they go to talk, they go, fíjate. They do. It's a lot of this. They press on you when they go to make a point. If your knee's right there, they'll touch your knee and go, fíjate. That's it. They just want to
get your attention.
They want to make sure. Fíjate.
Oye, mira eso.
Oíste, bre.
Sí.
What's your name in Spanish? How's that?
Bre.
Bre.
And it's a joke because I fuck with my suegra about it. And I'm like, you've known me for 20 years now, and you still cannot pronounce my name properly. Bre. I used to say pan con té because it makes it easier for a lot of the old school Cubans.
Pan con té.
Instead of bread, Brett.
That makes sense.
Say pan con té. Pan con té. Brett. See?
And then they get it. How's your last name?
Romberg.
Like a romper.
Romberg.
Say it again?
Romper. That's it.
Brett.
Like the kid, yeah, exactly. So
your name's a fucking nightmare to the Cubans.
It's horrible. It's bad. At least it doesn't start with S. At least it doesn't start with S because I've learned very, very quickly that you guys also have a hard time pronouncing or pronouncing. Is that word? Enunciating.
You've been in Miami for too long.
Anything that begins with S, but you could say sábado. You could say serpiente. You could say. Sigue, which I know it doesn't begin with an S, but you could say a lot of things that begin with S.
Yeah, sabingo.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Sabinghetti.
You could say a lot, but if you ask to say skirt, school, or spaghetti, you put a fucking E in front of it every time, and I don't understand why.
We had a friend growing up. His name was Steve.
Hey, Steve.
I don't know why his mom did that to herself, but when she would call him from a block away, what we heard was, Steve.
No. Are you serious?
Steve. Vamos, niño. Steve. That's it. That's what we would hear. A thief.
Why?
I don't know.
I used to sit there with Bisa, and I used to be like, okay, dile sábado. Okay, sábado. Dile serpiente.
Sapo.
Dile sapo. Sapo.
Yeah.
Dile suegra. Suegra.
Yeah.
Okay. Dile skirt. A skirt.
It's
and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
It's. I think it's visualizing the word.
Cool.
Dile
school. School. Cool.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, man. I thought I had it.
No, it's we. Yeah, I don't know why I guess because in Spanish it's escuela.
I just don't understand why it's what's a skirt? How do you say skirt?
Skirt? Saya.
So it's saya.
Saya.
So how is that such an issue when you can't say skirt? You don't. Isn't it putting the two consonants?
Just go straight to
is
the
it
S.
putting the two consonants together? Is that why?
I think so.
Is there anything in the Spanish language that has? Because it's always a vowel. If you think about it at the end of it, so serpent. That's why.
So you cracked the fucking case. There you go.
You're welcome.
What do you mean? Not all heroes wear fucking capes, bro.
No.
Brett Romberg.
It's been a pleasure. It really has been.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, man.
Brett, let's do this again. This was fucking great, dude.
Yeah, man.
You're a fucking stud. I still see you as the Brett Romberg that would tackle Aaron Hernandez out on that field.
Man. I knew I came here for a reason.
Brett Romberg, thank you so much for being here, buddy. If there's one thing you could tell the world, what would it be, Brett?
Don't get married.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here first at the Ramil Podcast, the one and only Brett Romberg. Thank you for being here, buddy. Yeah. We want to thank the Founders Law. We want to thank our friends at All Pro Claim Adjusters. Brett, thank you for being on. Come back, dude. Come back again. Let's talk about this. Talk about how much we hate family life.
Let's do it.
Guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Roll the intros and outro.